Hey, I want to talk about the value of this real quick before I forget. Just this is sort of an overlap thing. It's not so much about the DML position owners as people creating their own websites and they want to expand the usage. When we talk about the ability to break in worldwide, what does that require? And that's what I want to cover just in a nutshell because we're not until we have some orders to do, we're not doing it, but this functionality is just coming live. So the people who are thinking big, you know how there's always the new app you can put out. Well, we always think to put it out in English. There's always the new program, maybe right here in America, that a lot of people would love to be able to get into, but they just have so much trouble understanding the English. They don't even know if they can do it. They've got questions over whether they can legally get paid a certain way or whether the payment system they use will work to transfer money for them. And these are things that they need to chase down and check up on, but they have so many questions it never even occurs to them to check with anyone here in America about the program here because they just don't speak the language, right? So a lot of opportunities are left on the doorstep based on inability to comprehend the language. And on the flip side, you can see it when you think about yourself. How often do you look through, let's say, Chinese programs if you don't speak Cantonese or Mandarin? If you don't speak Chinese, you don't really study Chinese systems in Chinese, right? Same with Korea. I mean, there's opportunities in Korea, China, Japan. There's opportunities in London. There's opportunities in different places all over. Australia, the Pacific Islands. There are different opportunities everywhere that are worth checking into. But if you can't speak the language, you don't really think to check into them, do you? You just don't. You don't even think how to annex opportunities over there to your program over here. You don't think to look for partners over there who can help resell the goods that you're selling here. Usually, because you can't support anyone in those foreign languages, right? Not only are you selling the goods, but you have to be able to support the end users on behalf of the companies selling the goods. They can't provide the support so much as the infrastructure for selling the goods, but it would be necessary for you to handle customer support. All this stuff is becoming easier and easier and easier. And so the fact that we can build assistants to handle that is one thing. But I want to tell you a few more. One, if we host websites, we would like to host them in the local country because then we'll have less latency of the signal. Therefore, we're going to tend to rank higher over there. And we can do that now. If we have somebody come to us and they want to open up in a certain country and they're willing to back having a server in that country, or if a few people are like, hey, let's expand, or if everyone just says, why don't we open up in Shanghai too? Why don't we open up in Melbourne? Why don't we open up in, name a place, right? And then we look in and go, very well, let's get some Amazon web servers set up over there, because we can do that. We can open that door. Our server tech can help set that environment up according to all the stuff that we have. And then we can make all this stuff that we have available in all those countries. And we can make our offers to businesses as well as individuals by just putting stuff out in social media. You go for individuals. By contacting companies, you're going for companies and saying, hey, we've got something you probably don't have over there that we can offer to you. And that's true for a number of things that are available right now in some countries and not really available in others. There is that happening, and then there are a lot of, like I checked with some of the programmers in different countries like Bangladesh, Pakistan, Philippines, India. And I've said, hey, are you using this? Are you using that? Are you using that? I'm finding that they can't get access to this, that, or that for different reasons. It's like, really? So with that in mind, it's so valuable for us to be able to set things up here that they can access and use as a third-party vendor. In other words, we're setting it up, then they can use it, right? Well, if we're expanding overseas, that stuff is important. So being able to host websites over there is one piece of the puzzle. What else? Getting domain names in their, country. Sure, like instead of a .com, it's a .co.uk. or a .co.au. No problem. .cn. Of course we can do that. What else? We produce the pages in the foreign language. Haven't tried yet, but I have tried this kind of thing before in dummy tests, and it worked perfectly. So I'm quite sure that's not going to be hard for us to do. We used to do things like apply the Google Translate bar to the front end of the website for change the language on the page, okay, which was kind of a loose translation, but the best that we could do. But then we also had one for inside the admin panel. So it translated the language of everything in the admin panel, even the support topics. So then in the admin panel, anyone could understand what everything does back there. Okay, they could figure it out. So very, very soon, we'll have the ability to produce all the tools we have and the value of all these tools. Like exactly this web page is in English right now. If I ran it through Google Translate bar, you can picture in your mind's eye everything changing on here, except that's a video, so that will not change. But that's another thing. We're learning how to generate videos in different languages with mouth over so that the mouth moves to the right syllables in every language. And yet it still sounds like, in my case, me, if I'm using me. And the system will sense the IP address of the viewer and use the right language video depending on the viewer, right? Where they are in the world by IP address. So that's huge. It means that like 98% of people are going to see the right video all the time whenever it pops up. And the last 2% know that they're seeing the wrong language because they're using a VPN that connects somewhere else through the world. A private connection that's connecting through a different country. They would know it right away because everybody sees experiences like that. And they could always flip it off if they want to watch it in their native language. All right, now having said that, what else? Phone numbers in different languages. Guess what? That is highly available. We can get phone numbers in, I think, Ireland. We can, by the way, our assistants can speak in Irish. Top of the morning to you style, kind of energetic and a nice tone, but Irish, like what? Gaelic, right? Gaelic. And it's speaking very nicely in that style. Okay, so absolutely amazing. And that's because some of the voices that we source are multilingual. They're meant to be. And that's the idea of the supporting voice in 29 languages. Okay, so the point is we can call companies locally in different countries using websites set up in their language with features set up in their language, recorded topics or whatever can be in their language. All of it can be in their language for one country and or another and or another and or another. So we can really widely open anything. And then, yes, we can do multiple websites that way. Yes, we can do multiple live chat agent setups and phone numbers and stuff. And it can be in different languages for those companies who want to expand. So the idea of being able to stretch open the door to do what we've been trying to do is just getting easier and faster than ever before. That'll lead me to another topic, but I don't want to stray off. I just wanted to say, what do we need to do to open different languages? The pieces. Get a server over there. Get domains. That'll work over there smartly. Set up websites in that language if and when the time comes. Have the phone numbers set for the native languages over there. And the phone numbers themselves are local phone numbers so that the phone calls are local calls through our system. Local in their country, local. In that country, local. In other words, we can call lots of businesses in Ireland through a phone number that's in Ireland. Through a set of phone numbers that are all in Ireland. We can call Denmark, a bunch of businesses in Denmark using Danish, the local phone numbers. And we can have our websites in Gaelic. And we can have our websites in Danish. We can have the callers answer in Gaelic, the callers answer in Danish. And then if these guys wanted to do business in other lands, we could help them set up their different translations. And all the functions can be made to work that way now. This is crazy. I mean, we can reproduce the PDF in the different languages, complete with all the images and stuff. We can do the videos in the different languages. We can show the different websites in the different languages if we go into that. But again, the point is that's for big companies who are doing recurring payments for big projects. And so they're going to pay monthly for the constant ongoing support and growth that AI demands anymore since it's moving so fast. But in the process of doing that, we can provide it for anyone in the world. And that's just what I wanted to say is, for those of you that want to start opening up like that because you're from different, I know a number of you are from different countries. You want to do different things. There's the guy with the Korean skincare cream. There's the Irish guy who does the carpet cleaning and replacement services all through whatever the provinces in Ireland, its territory. There are lots of people like that. Who've come to me at one time or another for their thing. There's like Persian rugs selling in the Gulf, in different lands there. And those guys want to send those things to the Japanese restaurants. So they need to have literature in Japanese in order to get their best luck at landing the deals with the most Japanese restaurants. Because even if those guys speak English, say, they probably won't speak Arabian, any kind, like Farsi or Urdu, but at least they will speak English or Japanese, but they'll be more apt to look at stuff in Japanese first, right? Of course, it's their native language. They're more comfortable that way. Remember, like 90% of the internet is not in English, okay? Just keep that in mind. I think it's even like 93% now. It's less and less of it is in English with the passage of time, right? More and more of it is Asian, for instance, or Hindi, and so on. A lot of Hindi, a lot of Asian languages on websites everywhere. Okay, I think I made my point. I'm just letting you know because this stuff's important to keep in mind. All right.